Hi, Mark here for the Kensington Minute. This man was quite an opinion maker, and his ideas would guide successive leaders of the Democratic Party. He was Saul Alinsky, and he would be amazed at the influence he had as a revolutionary tactician from the mid-20th century up through today. He wrote several books, one of which was a manual to infiltrate existing power structures and subvert them. Know the name of the book? Well, it's Rules for Radicals, which was extolled by yesterday's radicals as well as today's governing elites. But who was this Alinsky, and why was he so important? Well, Saul Alinsky was born in Chicago to Jewish parents, but broke with the faith very early. He held on to the philosophy that he learned from a rabbi who said to him, "Fighting is the American way. Old Testament. They beat us up, so we beat the hell out of them. That's what everybody does," unquote. Now, you may dispute the rabbinical wisdom of this, but Saul Alinsky was certainly a fighter, and his main enemy seems to have been America. At the University of Chicago, he was one of the first students to study sociology, and he claimed to having palled around with Al Capone's gang to understand the real meaning of power. He may have, he may not have, he seems to have been a fabulist, but he was certainly an enthusiastic and effective union organizer. And this is where he developed powerful insights and began to provide enduring guidance to future generations of organizers, including Hillary Clinton, who adored him, and Barack Obama, who continued his legacy and brought it to the White House. There is no evidence that he was a communist or an ardent supporter of the Soviet Union. The USSR was too organized for him, had too many power structures. No, but he was certainly an opponent of the American system, though he never clearly or entirely defined what that system was. It was certainly free enterprise. It was certainly a system that held consolidated power structures. But he was less a political philosopher than he was a tactician, and he excelled at that. He was an angry and focused man. He wrote a very influential manual, we mentioned this, and that was the Rules for Radicals. He distilled tactics down for organizing and attacking these power structures. He wrote, quote, "The Prince was written by Machiavelli for the haves on how to hold on to power. Rules for Radicals is written for the have-nots on how to take it away." He offered 13 rules, many of which are applicable to out-of-power people demanding different types of change. Here are two. Quote, "Never go outside the expertise of your people. It results in confusion, fear, and retreat. Feeling secure adds to the backbone of anyone," unquote. Another is, "Whenever possible, go outside the expertise of your enemy. Look for ways to increase insecurity, anxiety, and uncertainty." These rules are used today, and some conservatives use them as political tactics to make inroads against leftist power structures in many cities, major cities. If you are looking for a sympathetic treatment of Alinsky's legacy, you may want to watch The Democratic Promise, shown here. For a more critical, hostile account, consider watching David Horowitz's treatment here. He was certainly influential, this Saul Alinsky. Hillary dedicated her undergraduate thesis to him and wrote about his strategy. Obama brought his ideas to the White House. You can't help but respect this man's intelligence, but I'd like to know why he hated America so much. He saw Roosevelt's expansion of government to provide aid for the most destitute. He lived through LBJ's Great Society and the Civil Rights Movement, and the women's movement too, but He could have moved within progressive circles to foster change from within, but he held fast to his anti-Americanism and his conviction that reformers need to fight from the outside because the system is so internally sick. I really don't get it. Do you have any ideas? We at Kensington would love to hear them. This Kensington Minute does not represent the official position of the United States government. Take the Kensington Challenge. Out here.